But I would say that the money that I invested in this and in ICEx, the value got was probably more than what I got combined to all those three investments that I had made. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm going on record. I'm going on video
Hi everyone, welcome to another case study of ICEx, and this time we have Rajiv Upadhyay ji with us, who is an executive coach. He was able to crack 3 deals worth 3.5 lakhs within 2 months of launching his funnel. Let's understand his secret on how he was able to achieve this and how you can replicate the process. All right, hi Rajiv ji, let's start with who you are, what you do, and what's your background. Please tell us.
Wonderful. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me on this, talk.
Yeah.
And very happy to kind of share that. I had a great experience going through this whole process.
Okay.
So, just a little bit about myself. I'm an executive coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I work with senior leaders in IT industry. I
Okay.
help them, handhold them as they are transitioning in their career, mostly from a functional role into a senior strategic role. And the kind of handholding that they need is about with their communication skills,
Yeah.
moving into a more strategic communication skills and executive presence. So that's the long and short of what I do.
Rajiv ji, what was your why behind this whole thing, this whole business that you started, the whole consultation thing?
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's an interesting uh, question. The reason is because I never started off as a HR professional when I started my career.
Okay.
I was a hospitality professional. I was a chef, and I spent almost 13 years in the hotel industry as a chef.
That's
But before that itself, I think it was my love for reading
mm,
um, that got me into this. First of all, because in our days, there were not many career options which were available. And I think it's almost a cliche, the Three Idiots movie cliche, that you can either become a doctor or an engineer or somebody.
mm.
So I tried doing that because of the family pressure, but because I could never get through any of those. Finally, the new industry at that moment, which was coming up, was the hotel industry. I got into it.
Okay.
I think it was more for that. I think it was more a need of finding a professional kind of a course or a career option that was important at that moment. It was not about what is it that you really want to do.
Right.
So yeah, so I did that for about 13 years, but at one point, I had been doing trainings for the kitchen staff and the restaurant staff on
Okay.
an informal kind of basis. And somewhere um, it 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 got me moving that yeah, this is something this I could do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And at some point, I decided, made a move, and that worked out absolutely. So that was how I got into this
So basically, the journey
industry.
starts from, training little staff informally on hotels, and it is now into corporate senior leadership roles. You are training these people. Amazing. So, how has been your life before you joined ICEX and now after you have joined ICEX?
Right. There has been, quite a big shift, I would say.
Mhm.
And the reason is, I'll tell you. As a consultant and a coach, I mean, obviously that journey has been over 20, 25 years. And one thing I'm sure that you have realized, and I see a lot of coaches and consultants also joining these courses. One thing which has solidified my uh, belief is that coaches and consultants, they're very good at their craft, but what they are not very good at is selling, right?
True.
And that was one of the things which was there. I was doing a great job of my abilities as a facilitator or a coach. And that is the reason I had very good long-term relationships with most of my clients that I had.
Right.
Uh, but there were times when the business was not coming in. It was it was very little business which was coming in, or maybe it was not there at all. And in those moments, you felt as if you should not be waiting passively to get business coming your way. You
Correct.
should be proactively doing some of that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I did try in a couple of places to reach out, but not much worked in there. Uh, so to come back to this question of how did it change in a short way, I would say 100%. This was, I think, one of the successful exercises that I took in learning how to be more as a sales person or somebody who's selling services rather than just coaching or facilitating. Yeah.
Great.
Does that answer your question?
It does. It does.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. I want to ask, what was your first impression towards
Mm.
internet coaching empire, or I would say Himanshu Agarwal?
All right. So there is a little bit of background. So I'll take a little time to set that
Sure.
background before I come
Yes,
to that.
definitely.
The thing is, as I said, I was mostly into corporate coaching. So established organizations, they have a very different requirements when it comes to learning needs are concerned. And
Right.
I had been doing that for about 13, 14 years. I think it was somewhere in 2012 or 13 that I did get an opportunity to talk to a few people who are from a startup ecosystem. And the startup ecosystem is a very different beast, right? Whatever that we are offering as our services and as coaches and consultants in an established firm, they are very different from that of a startup ecosystem. So I had absolutely no clue about, how to help those people. And I tried to learn a little bit more about what is it that they do, how do they do it, and if whatever that I'm helping them with,
Okay.
is there some opportunity there? I got invited to mentor or coach, but I completely failed in that endeavor. So at that moment, I decided that I wanted to learn more about this ecosystem of how things happen.
Right.
And in the bargain, what I learned was that the market was shifting in a big way where just like the established organizations, they would have a 5-year plan or a 2-year plan or something.
Right.
Here in this new economy, we were developing products and they had a product development cycles,
Mm.
which was a completely different ballgame altogether. And the dynamics were very, very different.
Right.
So what I realized that if I have to be able to help people in this ecosystem, in this dynamics, then
Correct.
first of all, I need to be able to learn it myself, and I realized that it was a mind shift which was required. And that's when I started to look out for opportunities of what is it that I can learn about this.
Mm.
And in the bargain, I realized that selling would be one of the big things, to identify the need of the markets, of the people in the market, that what exactly are they looking for and how do you develop a product, having
Right.
that empathy, realizing their why, and then developing a product around your target audience's persona would be very important. And
Okay.
that's where I came across these ClickFunnels.
Okay.
That was my first introduction to ClickFunnels. So it was not just about selling, or was not just about product development, but it is a complete life cycle of identifying the need and then bringing it to the market through ClickFunnels. So I was excited. I signed up for it. I spent a lot of money, but then I realized that it was something which was massive, that there was too steep a learning curve to not only learn about the marketing lingo, the persona development, the product development, technology, and all those things, which was very tough. And then I didn't have any help. So likewise, I tried a couple of other portals. There was PLF called Product Launch Formula by Jeff Walker. I spent a huge amount of money in all these places, and that did not happen.
Okay.
So coming to the point of your question of what made me sign up for Himanshu, because I had this background, because I knew about funnels, when I
Right.
saw his ad for the first time, which he talked about AI funnels, I thought that maybe all the problems that I faced were because of these challenges of technology. and maybe AI can take away all the grunge work. So there's no harm in at least giving it a shot. So
Correct.
I signed up for Himanshu's program,
Okay.
and I think he did. I mean, obviously, he did a fantastic job in the first session itself. He pressed all the right buttons for me, and it made me sign up for the next step.
Nice. So
Mm,
I believe now you have a basic system set up. How did it feel
mm,
when you were going through that change of actually
mm,
setting up things, setting up a new system, going on new sales call, learning all the templates, anything that is provided in the course? How did it feel?
mm. Right. Yeah. So once again, um, as I was doing my learning from a corporate coach to somebody who's working in this new economy, developing the product,
Right.
it was a shift from a project mindset to a product mindset, right? It had given me that idea of a sprint. Like when you do development, then there is a very short period of time in which you should be able to take the idea to a MVP. So
Yes.
I was sensitized to that fact. I had gone through a couple of those cycles,
Mhm.
and I knew that this is going to be a steep learning curve, that this
Correct.
12 weeks or 90 days is going to be a steep learning curve. I came with that mindset.
Mindset. Yeah.
And I also told myself that, look, this is not about getting rich quick kind of an exercise.
Correct.
It's something I'm into this for the long run. I've already experimented a couple of other options. It did not work out. Let me see how this will work out. But if I can get the right input and the right guidance, then I would want to make sure that I go through this whole exercise. So, true to its nature and true to what I believed, it was a steep learning curve,
Yeah.
right? But it was an exciting learning curve. It was very productive. It was not that we wasted any time, but every minute that was invested in it, it was something that you were probably accomplishing more in 1 hour than anybody would have done it in 1 month's time or 2 months' time on their own. Let me just put it that way.
I agree to that.
Mm.
All right. So, there have been tools and templates provided in the overall program. Were there any
Right.
tools or templates for you which were like an aha moment, like, yeah, this works? Which were they, if
Hmm.
there were any?
So, hmm, okay. So two, three. I think I can think of three at this moment, which was very good.
Okay.
One is the first one, which is about defining your target audience.
All right.
The persona in the sense,
Yes.
who are your, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the persona part of it, which was excellent. I mean, I knew about that you have to have a particular, you cannot be selling it to everyone. You have to sell to a specific audience, but then you need to define that persona. I
Correct.
had tried that again. It did not work out. But the way it was taken through in this program of helping you to identify who your target audience is and how do you define their pain points, how do you define their aspirations of where they are, their kind
Yes.
of current, what was that? Current situation and desired
Desired
situation. Those,
situation.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that exercise of defining and getting under the skin of your target
Client.
audience. I
Correct.
think that's a very powerful exercise because then that gives you the foundation of how you work on it, right?
Right.
Second one is, I would say, yes, obviously the one of the most powerful one is the selling skills, the low ticket selling and the high selling
High ticket. Yes.
skills. Yeah, yeah. Once again, I know that there are certain frameworks, methods which are there for selling like that. The spin selling is one, consultative selling is one.
Yes.
But you can't do it on your own. And I mean, as a coach, I'm telling you that if even if you are a coach, even if you know how people learn, but when you have to do things on your own, sometimes it's much easier and much faster when there is somebody to do hand holding to you. So I would say the second tool was the selling skills part of it, right?
All right.
And and the third I would say is the automation,
Yeah.
the part where you help with the auto. A simple example in the sense like, okay, I've been running my consulting for about 20 years
Okay.
and I've got a logo and other things.
Okay.
But the fact that you identify the brand colors, the fact that you define the font of your brand, and if you were to store that in Canva, then it is so much more easier for you to design the graphics. That simple little tool
True.
is so powerful that it takes away so much of time and energy from you, that this is something brilliant. I mean, it's all available for free, but you just need to know exactly
Yes, that it exists.
where to go and look for what.
Yes,
Absolutely, right?
correct.
So I
Correct.
would say these three things, your ability, yeah, to define the persona, to learn the script of how to sell. The third is the automation and simple tools like that. Yeah.
Right. So Rajiv ji, you have finally set up the whole system of, getting customers. You're growing as well. Your customers are also growing as well. Right now, what is that one thing you're working on that like you want to push it? That's the thing, next step for you. What is that next thing for you right now?
Okay, right. So there is two, three things. Again, I'm not saying that one thing. There are three things. The the most important priority for me at this moment is to get the team in place.
Okay.
Right. So the reason is because now that the activity is happening, there's a lot more inbound traffic of leads that is coming in. I need to make sure that I focus only on doing what I'm good at. So it was one thing to get your hands dirty and understand how your system works. But like they say that the general may be the best shoe shine in the army, but that doesn't mean he should go around shining everybody's shoes. So I think I have learned how to shine my shoes. Now
Yes.
it's time for
Yeah.
me to focus on exactly what will help me to grow this, and
Right.
what will help me to focus on what I really love doing. Okay, so that
Yeah.
is one thing that I'm doing, is to
Okay.
put the team together. Second one I'm focusing on is to work on a webinar funnel, because that is the next natural step for me. One-on-one is happening. I've experimented with having some couple of free webinars. So my next step is to get the webinar funnel going. Yeah. So these are the two priorities at this
All right.
moment. There is one more, but it's much long term. We'll probably
No
talk about
worries.
it some other
So
time. Yeah.
team and delegation, and then obviously working on the next step of webinar. Got it.
Yes.
Now,
Mm.
please help me with in eyes that we only not only talk about how you are growing as a client for
Mhm.
us, but we also want to know how you are helping your clients grow. So, what are the things, what are the changes that you see in your customers and your clients? Tell me about that.
Okay, yeah. So I remember when you had asked me that question earlier, and I was thinking that's too early for me to say anything about how I'm helping them. But later on, as I started to think about it, um, I think that was an aha moment for me once again.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Um, I have been working in corporate companies. Okay, so these are basically sponsored. These programs or coaching things are being sponsored mostly by the corporate companies.
Okay.
When I decided to go B2C, in the sense directly to people,
Yes.
and it is what I've realized it is that this is the time where AI is making so many jobs redundant, and there are so many people who are in transition. Either they are upskilling or relearning or finding opportunities of how they can leverage AI. And that is making a huge shift in the skill sets which are required for people to be successful in the workplace, right? And because of that, a lot of individuals, they are taking personal responsibility for their career. They are not waiting for their organization to come and give them inputs on
Right.
coaching or on training as such or whatever it is. But now they are taking responsibility for themselves. And as I have been speaking to all of them, and we asked them this question, right? That what made you connect with me in that sales exercise? And more than three, four times, people have told me that they have been exploring so many different options. There are so many people out there who claim to be somebody, but then they are not able to find the right person or a coach to give them that. Am I right?
Right.
So here is an option. I'm just thinking, I said, hey, I'm a coach, and if I'm able to help them, it's great. So one is the way that I approach the market. The second is it gave me a shift in the mindset that you are actually not selling. You are providing and offering somebody an option which they are not getting from somebody else. Okay. So that helps you to be a little bit more authentic when it comes to approaching your audience is concerned, which is B2C for that matter. So how to answer your question, how do my audiences feel about it? They have
Yes.
already told me that they feel that there is value in what I'm doing. Yes, sometimes it's possible that it is not their what do you call a budget, that they might not be able to buy for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But consistently, this is the same message that I'm getting is that your content connected with me, and I believe that this is the solution I'm looking for. So at this early stage where I still haven't completed one whole life cycle of taking somebody through the exercise of helping them change or become successful, it's difficult for me to answer that question, but this is a very preliminary feedback that I'm getting, whether it is working or not.
I think I've
I don't
already
know if
got
I'm
my answer.
okay.
In the same
Right.
response, I have a similar question that there are so many people on internet again claiming the similar things that they can
Mm,
help you. So how did
mm.
ICE stand out here?
Right. Yeah. So, okay, fine. Let me not say what attracted me to ICE. I would say, what was the difference between my experiments with three, four other platforms earlier to this?
Right. Okay.
Is yeah. So this is one is the DFY, done for you, because most of these platforms that I use, they were all international platforms. Okay. They have, their packaging is brilliant. The way that they communicate is brilliant. But then what happens is there is too much of gyan that they are giving, but there's not much of hand holding which happens there. Okay. So here, ICEx, I think they delivered on their promise that first of all, they would give you the tools and templates, uh, and those videos that Himanshu had recorded, which are very relevant for our Indian market.
Yeah.
Throughout, I could see that he was talking about product development, but he never used that language of product development as such, which is the norm, right? And for example, karo to jano, and so they talk about, trust only the system. Don't worry about putting your mind or thinking, because obviously
दिमाग
you
मत
need to
लगाओ.
shift your mindset. Yeah, so dimag mat lagao, right?
Right.
Dimag mat lagao, trust only the system. Just trust the system. Once you have got your hands dirty with the system, then you can say, is this the logic behind the system? Now maybe I can use my own brains and see if this thing fits into my scheme of things or not.
Right. Right.
So those tools and templates were great. Um, the coaching, I think, is the most important aspect of it. That hand holding part of it. The fact that you can he started off this whole exercise with giving that what is the mindset an entrepreneur should have, right? People probably say, okay, fine, let me skip that part and get to the
It's
good part of it, right? Sometimes they tend to ignore that, or kind of do not give that importance which is there. I think it's mostly about mindset. So starting with that mindset and going into skills, what are the skills you require, and then what are the tools? So mindset, skill set, and tool set, there's an alignment of those things, facilitated by the weekly accountability and coaching. not only in terms of behavior, but in terms of helping sort out your technical problems and everything for that matter. So it's a complete package. And I would say so again, to answer in one sentence, it was a complete package where you help them to, go beyond their mental blocks, to help them with the process, how to leverage technology, and help them with hand holding that wherever that you are having a problem. And that's what a coach is all about, right? To provide that safety net when you are experimenting with something. So that was brilliant. And since you were my coach, and I can tell you that you did a great job.
Thank you so much. All right. Rajivji, there are so many people in your batch as well who might be looking
Hmm.
for the similar kind of, feedback from like how they can also, achieve similar results like you. So what is your advice to the people who are already in your batch?
Yes, I thought about that. And this is what I came up with because I think I have this unfair advantage of being in a different generation altogether. And I could see that there were people from a very wide spectrum of in the audience or people who are participating in this. And there's a very distinct mindset which is there in, these two generations, or if I were to broadly categorize them. Young generation, for them, that I would have the advice is that they are living in the most exciting times, where technology can do so much for them. Brilliant. Okay. But sometimes we tend to focus a lot more on technology. My advice to them is what Himanshu had said. He said that if you have a crappy product, this technology will only help you to broadcast it to the wider audience. So, my advice to them is look inside, find out what their strengths are. What
Yes.
is it that they are excited about? Where do they feel and know that their place in the sun is? How can they add value to other people's lives, right? What are they naturally excited with? And build that. Just just grow that, just hone that skill. Each one of us have got that one thing that kind of makes us who we are. Try
Yes.
to discover that and just hone it, and then you can use the technology to leverage it and just go to the as many number of people as possible. So
Right.
that's for the youngsters.
Okay.
When it comes to people of my generation or slightly older,
Okay.
we have these big mental blocks, that how do I go and accept in front of these youngsters that I don't know these things? Because we are coming from that generation which was expected to know all the answers, right? We were expected to be the guiding force and have all the answers, and you're not supposed to tell people that you don't know these things. So I understand those things, but we are living in such a dynamic world that there is absolutely no precedences to all the things that we are experiencing today. There is no examples in the past which says that this is how you could have prepared yourself for today. So
Correct.
there's nothing wrong in uh, thinking that you can learn something from the young. I think the most you can learn is from the younger generation because they were born with technology. They have a completely different mindset. That is the mindset which is going to help everybody become successful. If you don't have that perspective, if we don't have that mindset, maybe we can learn from them what sort of how do they think, what is their mindset, and the rest can be done by technology. And that is the second mindset. Sometimes we feel, oh, technology is so difficult. I can't handle technology. Well, I don't think so. I have gotten my hands dirty, and I think it is more having an open mindset. Uh, that has helped me to be able to pick up these things, and anybody can do that. And now it has become even more easier. The more we are going into this no code development part of it, there are so many things that can just drag and drop. How
Correct.
difficult that can be, right? So yeah, that's my thing. So for people of my generation, I think they should have a little bit more open mind of learning from uh, the younger generation and not be worried about uh, technology. That's my
I
advice.
think that has been the best advice ICE has ever received. So,
Okay.
yeah. And the
Mm.
last question, which is
Okay.
that There are so many people watching this video. They're not part of ICEx right now. What is your recommendation to these people?
Whoa, close your eyes and join it, right? I think this is the best. This is the best you will. This is the best investment that you will make. And I have every reason to say it like this is because uh, I tried to do something similar in the last 4 5 years with 3 4 different platforms. At one point, I spent 2 lakhs. Another point, I spent 5 lakhs, and the last one I did once again. Spent something like 1.5 2 lakhs. So totally, before I came to ICEx, I had already put in something like 8 to 10 lakhs into it, and I got kind of marginal value or nothing compared to what. But I would say that the money that I invested in this and in ICEx, the value got was probably more than what I got combined to all those three investments that I had made. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm going on record. I'm going on video to say that that is definitely valuable. So the bottom line is, if you're thinking about it, don't think, just do it. You'll get your investment recouped in no time.
All right. I think that's all. Thank you so much, Rajiv ji. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your words of wisdom. May you have a empire of crores soon. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
Good. I hope I'll be happy if I'm able to make a lot of impact also. Yes,
Yes.
money is always welcome.
Yes, definitely. You're already making that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much once again for inviting me for this talk. And yeah, happy to continue working with you. All right.
So much. Bye bye.
अगर ये इस टाइप की वीडियो पसंद है तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब मत करो. Click on my channel, see all the videos. If you feel like there are videos which can actually help you, then so click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for the notifications.